Welcome everybody, my name is François Letarte and this is my channel JDR D30, a channel about tabletop role-playing games. Today, I'm going to do the final and third recap of the Google Hangout game of Advanced Fighting Fantasy that I've played with Sameoldji, playing Cyclodak, a human chaos mage from the south of the Desert of Skulls, Nolinquisitor playing an elf drifter called Finn, and a lady called Virginie, who plays Bunny Big Belly, the best dwarven cook in Black Sand. So, the last time they managed to defeat Balabar and get the map that was tattooed on his head, and they made a scalp of his head to have the map with them. And here's the map in itself. I will show it to you, but if you don't like blood, beware because it's a bloody map. So they got this map with writings that Beauregard made. So Bunny had tried to decipher the code, tried to read it the best she could because it was her lost brother who had the talent for that. She knew little, and she read the map. The way she read it, she got some riddles. Uh, she was able to translate some riddles out of it because Beauregard, the way he was writing, you had many levels of comprehension, and the more talented you were to read it, the more you were able to do a complete sentence. Bunny, with her talent with that, came up with these riddles. First off, it confirmed that this place was in Carsipolis, that was an ancient city under Black Sand, and it showed where the entrance was, some kind of a big rock with a star on it. And there were some riddles, like Golem's blade is wrong, the never-ending turn, you have to name it, your past will float here, and for the triacontaèdre, oh yeah, there was something about the eye behind your head will give you the right direction. And finally, about the triacontaèdre will take and will give and will retake to the one who received. So that was much what she could read about the triacontaèdre and this map. All the while, the characters got to know each other very well, and they revealed their past secrets. Well, Finn was a drifter, got many jobs, and yeah, he knew Balabar and knew about this map. So for him, this quest was just to know what Balabar was hiding with this map. For Bunny, well, it was in honor of her brother that she got to this adventure. For Cyclodak, well, everyone learned this time that he was a chaos mage, and that he had a sister who was a mage a long time ago, and she died at the hand of a chaos mage. 2 years back, Cyclodak received a visit of a woman called Jules, who was a chaos mage, who told Cyclodak that she could help him to save her sister's soul, because the soul of Camadier, this is the name of the sister, was kind of trapped into something called the triacontaèdre. So he had to retrieve it, and in order to do that, he had to learn magic. And so he learned the chaos magic from this woman, Jules, who told him that another chaos mage killed his sister way back, and that Jules killed him afterward. And she was searching for someone to get the triacontaèdre because this is her sister's soul. Cyclodak was the only one who could get there, get the triacontaèdre. and save her sister. It's the strange nature of this artifact that lead him to that. So, while knowing all these secrets, the dwarf Skotten, the one who was stabbed by Drizzt last time, convinced our group to join them in this quest because he may know something about the runes. He's himself a rune artisan. He crafts rune on objects by demand. So, and he knew where that rock with the star was. So they decided that he could get along and come with them. While they were studying the map, they received another visit at the Hamlock Tavern. It was the black woman, the one that was on the boat, the Bitesea. And she came to them to ask for protection because she had trouble with the remaining pirates. And she wanted to come with them and you can protect me, please. And they refused. Well, they rudely refused, and she was quite upset. So she told them that, the Triacontahedre would have made Balabar the king of the sea. It is a very dangerous artifact, and you shouldn't go there because you will be cursed. And well, our group didn't want to listen to her, so they just kicked her out of the tavern, and that was it. So they prepared their voyage to this strange place. So quite early in the morning, they got where Skotten led them for that famous rock that was just on the side of the Catfish River. And well, they found the rock, but there was two orcs who were sitting on this rock, and they were fishing, so they had to chase them. And when they managed to chase them, they were able to lift the rock and see that there was some kind of a passage with a ladder that was going underground. So they got there. They simply descended there. Cyclotac was the last to get in, and the black woman from the Bitesea. Okay, I will tell her name because they never knew her name. She was called Suna. So Suna came again, only to curse Cyclotac, saying, it's a very dangerous place and a very dangerous artifact. You will be cursed and all mystic things around it. Cyclotac just told her to shut up and got to the underground. While underground, well, they were in some kind of a dungeon, an ancient place. The walls were quite clean and polished. So the first place they visited, in this place there were three golems, stone golems. One of them was in the middle, and the other two were beside doors that were in the other end of the room. When they entered, the golem began to move. The one in the middle, well, was walking toward our group to attack them, and the other two just opened the door they were beside and entered it and closed the door behind them. So they just got elsewhere. So in this fight, they had to manage to fight the golem because Finn figured out that golem blade is wrong. It was some kind of message that were saying that fighting golems, stone golems with blade, doesn't work at all. So they had to fight. Cyclotac managed to do a spell. Since it's a chaos mage, the chaos had lurked on him, and the spell just got back on him, and he was near death. Unfortunately, Skotten had a stamina potion, so he was able to magically restore Cyclotac to his full health. That's the magic of fighting fantasy, the stamina potion. They defeated the golem. They wanted to visit the room on the map. There's a room with a big eye with a tear. They wanted to go there. So they got in one of the two doors. They got to that place. All the while they heard the step of the golem that was patrolling So they managed to avoid him. They entered that room. That room was quite strange. It was full of crystallized trees, like trees that were suddenly transformed into crystal, like with a spell or something like that. And in the middle there was a pond. Cyclodac and Scotland did enter the place first, and something caught their attention because when they were looking in the pond, the reflection was quite unusual. Usually you look in the water, so the water moves a little and you see a reflection with some distortion in it. But not this time, it was like a clean mirror. And after they saw that, someone came up. In fact, two persons came from behind the trees and approaching them. One of them was a woman with the features of someone who comes from the cold continent, and it was walking toward Scotland, open arms, smiling, and full of love. And the other person was Kamadi, the sister of Cyclodac. Cyclodac had suspicions about this person. Was it really Kamadi? Cyclodac really doubt it. He asked some personal questions and she answered them all. So he wondered, don't follow me, you're not Kamadi, you're not my sister. He got his whip in his hand. He was, hitting with his whip just to make this Kamadi go away. Otherwise, Cotton was hugged by the woman and he was crying. He was totally out of him, like if he saw a ghost. So the players decided to get out of this place. And once they got out, Cotton decided to go back there, and they didn't manage to retain him. So he got back there, closed the door, and after a moment they heard kind of thunder in the place. Cotton went back, shaken and a little wounded by what happened. The other characters didn't bother asking him what had gone, what happened in the place, but they decided to continue. They wanted to get to the Triacontaine, so they walked, and they got to a place where there was a small eyes on the map written. They got there, it was, a dead end with a wall. But so they decided to turn back. Well, when they got back they reversed their course. They saw that the corridors were not as they were before. They were kind of inverted. This was some kind of a mystery. Shortly after that, they got into a room, and that room tried to suck them in and get them into some kind of a spiral. And they figured out that maybe this was the room where it says that the never-ending turn have to have you have to name it. So they tried to some name, you're calling it tornado and spirals and anything like that. And someone came up with the name Circle. And it was about time because everyone was sucked in, and they were hitting the wall all the while they were in, so they were losing stamina points, and it may have become critical if no one did say circle. When they said circle, they got back into the place searching a way out. They had to fight the stone golems that were patrolling. It went quite well there. And they got into another room. In fact, it wasn't another room. It was the same room with the pond and the crystal trees. So when they got there, they understood that they had been kind of teleported into this place. So that is the mystery surrounding the inverted corridors and all that. It was just that they were elsewhere. Feeling that they may be lost, Bonnie had an idea, a very good one in fact. She decided to go to the pond, look in the water. When she got there, she saw kind of two humanoid melted form on the ground, but she didn't bother about it. She looked herself in the mirror that was the pond, and her brother Benny came. She figured out that she could get Benny there. If it was Benny or not didn't matter, because she asked him, you could read Beauregard's code, so help me reading the map correctly because we want to get to the Three à Contained. Benny, as real as it may look, really helped Bunny. He read the map and told them how to get to the Three à Contained. So they decided to get Benny with them, while all the while looking at him to see if something strange may happen or some kind of attack. And they followed Benny's direction. So yeah, they kind of get to a place where they had to walk backward. That was what was related to the riddle, the eyes behind your head gives you the direction. They had to get to the places, but instead of going forward to the wall, they had to go backward on the wall. And they succeeded to get into the place where the Three à Contained was. They entered the place. It was kind of a small room with some kind of an altar made of the same rock, polished rock that made the walls. And on it there was this. Okay, the red one. This is the white one. Yeah, it was exactly like this. They laughed a lot because I think they liked my Three à Contained. This is the geometric French name of this object. And D30 is a Three à Contained. So the Three à Contained infusion was there. They found it. Immediately Finn decided to take it with his hand, to give it to Cyclotech. But in the moment he touched the Three à Contained, some kind of a blast got through him. He lost all his magic points, and Meldir was kind of emptied. It became a transparent jewel-like, and he felt immediately unconscious. He left the Three à Contained on the floor. Cyclotech began to laugh and began to cry tears of gold. Yeah, that was the chaos effect that Sameoldji managed to explain to us. Once again, it was quite a show. And he cast the Z spell. Okay, the Z spell. For those who don't know Fighting Fantasy, the Z spell is the Forbidden spell. That's the spell the sorcerers are taught, but they are warned not to use it. In game effect, the Z spell, in the description of the spell, we don't know what it does. All that it's written is that the game master decide what the spell do, and it must be something really funky and it's a kind of a last resort spell. Sameoldji decided to get into a description of the effect, so I let him go with that. And he decided that he was transformed into a Three à Contained in gold. It was quite strange. So, the only two persons that were left, and Benny, yeah, the Benny that came from the pond room disappeared. But the only two persons that were left, that it was Bunny and Scottan. Scottan began to change, to polymorph and became something else. Yeah, and he took the Three à Contained, the red one, with his hand, and he became. It wasn't a dwarf anymore. It was a human female, and it was, in fact, she introduced herself as Jules, the master of Cyclotech. She only told Bunny, little dwarf, I may spare your life since you've helped me get here. That's the only thing she said. And she felt, happy to have it and shaking with kind of euphoric shake. and she looked at the golden triacontane and hesitated a moment and took it in her hand. It was a bad choice for Jules because she was she also had some kind of a blast going through her, but this time her eyes went completely white and she fell on her back, dropping the bold triacontane. The golden one just melted. She was dead. Bunny, had quite a show and just said, well, it's a little more than I can afford, so goodbye. She took Finn and the emptied Meldeer. She took Finn by one of his leg and took Meldeer and just got back to the tavern. That's it. It was quite a strange final. I had to figure out because the Z spell is a very I can't say that it's a game breaker. It's a spell that may change all the possibilities. I usually when the Z spell is cast, it happened once in my regular game. I had to stop the game there just to think about what is really happening. But this time, it was the final of the hangout, so I have to think back here what happened. So Cyclodeck, who I got him back 2 years earlier at this fruit stand in the south of the Desert of Skulls and received a message. He wasn't a chaos mage. He was just that the fruit sellers sending man, that businessman. So the message was from Kamadi, her sister, who was still alive and wanted to get back to him to tell about her adventures. I will tell now the real conclusion because I had time to think about it since the last game. So Kamadi came back to Cyclotech and told her about the story about the Chaos Mage who tried to attack her because they found the map that Balabar had afterward. So the Chaos Mage that attacked Kamadi was in fact Jules. Jules, the master of Cyclodeck. So Jules, in the timeline, that had this adventure, it was a trap. She wanted Cyclodeck to get the Triacontahedra for her. We don't really know why, but she wanted that. So that will be a part of the mystery I will not solve here. But Jules told Cyclodeck that Jules attacked Kennedy and she was saved by her teeth. Yeah, because she has golden teeth. Cyclodeck had that too. It was kind of a magic artifact they had in their mouth. And she removed her teeth, and the companion of Camadier managed to go away with the map. So Jules took the teeth and obviously made a triacontahedre in gold for some reason and brought it into this place where the real triacontahedre was. There's some kind of a timeline confusion, but that's the nature of the Z spell. Finn, after this adventure, when he was fully recovered, took Meldir and threw it in the sea. He felt a little more alone because Meldir was a presence that was following him all the time since some years. And Bunny, when she got back to the tavern, got back to what she does the best cooking in Blackson. And when she arrived, about 18 hungry sailormen came to the tavern to eat, so she had to cook. And all became normal from there. That was a very good session, and it was very fun. In fact, I was more prepared, so it was more easy to handle with Google Hangout. I guess it came with practice, like everything else. Yeah, well, this adventure had the potential to have, sequels or something like that. It it made me some plot ideas for even my regular campaign. So I was very glad to do that. It was quite a good exercise. It filled up the world of Titan and the fighting fantasy game world. So it brought some ideas that I will use for sure in maybe some other campaigns. What is the Triangle ahead was one of the things that could be used. And yeah, so the next hangout with this group will be a game ran by Sameoldji. It will be a Traveler game, and I'm really looking forward to that because Traveler, I've played Mega Traveler maybe almost 25 years ago, but now Sameoldji will get us in the far future, and I'm really looking forward to that because it was quite. Sometimes I didn't play the science fiction game, and I do like science fiction. So thank you, Sameoldji. Thank you, Jean-François. Thank you, Nolinquisitor, Sébastien, and thank you, Virginie. You are very good players. It was very enjoyable to play with you. The way it goes, it made me love Advanced Fighting Fantasy even more because it was an occasion for me to experiment how the rules could stretch with the way you played. Because Advanced Fighting Fantasy can be flexible to some point, and you have tested some of the limits of the game, and yeah, I want to play again with my regular group, with anyone with this game because I like this. So if you have any comments or questions, I will be glad to respond to you. My name is François Letel, and this is my channel GDR D30. So up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your game.